Guys, do you know the best-selling artist in the United States according to RIA? I think we need to actually understand that it's not Burna Boy, Davido, or Wizkid. It's a person of CKay. That is the recent ranking of digitally best-selling artist in the United States. This is a single that he actually dropped, and now a lot of people are really interested in how this guy is selling. I think sometimes CK is being underrated. This guy has actually contributed to Afrobeat, breaking barriers, breaking boundaries. At the time, he actually went on chart in Korea. That is the first time I'm seeing an Afrobeat artist on the Korean chart and all those kind of things. And a lot of people can respect that. He has been shutting down arenas in the eastern part of the world, and we are not giving much accolade to this guy. He's a good songwriter and a good artist to an extent. Before I dive into the stories, I want to say thank you guys for watching our videos and thank you for the love so far. If you are new here, you can click the subscribe button below, the bell notification icon to always get notifications each time we upload our videos. Guys, let's talk about Afrobeat. A lot of people are making Afrobeat silent money. That is something I got to understand. A person of Zlatan bought himself a Maybach truck recently. This guy is really massive to an extent. He's making a lot of money and silently spending it on himself, and other people around him. A lot of people can really understand right now that Zlatan is one of the richest artists, based on the kind of money he's spending. Although Afrobeat artists in Nigeria, these guys are super rich. The likes of Davido, the likes of Burna, the likes of Wizkid, a lot of others, like Timaya. These guys are really rich to an extent. But Zlatan is somehow a rich silent artist. That is something I kind of believe about that. He bought this after few months of buying a Lamborghini Euros for himself. That is his spending lavish. Remember that he has started a clothing line that is one of the biggest and successful clothing line in Lagos right now, and a lot of people can attest to the fact that he made a lot of money off that. Let's catch a glimpse of that. This is going to be dirty December for Zlatan, and this guy is spending a lot of money on himself. Some people have already started saying that, hope say you dey invest too, because it's not going to be rosy all this time. You got to invest to an extent. I think he has actually made some adequate investment, especially with his clothing line and also some kind of real estate stuff. That is something I believe about Zlatan right now. Let's talk about Afrobeat, actually getting digitally sold in the United States of America. A person of CK is the best-selling Nigerian artist in the United States, and this guy is raking in a lot of money, based on the recent contributions to Afrobeat to an extent. And followed by a person of Wizkid. That is something I got to understand, with over 6 point something million sales, digital sales in US. That is really a big one for Wizkid to an extent. A lot of people are giving commendation to Wizkid, and also we need to give accolades to a person of CK. It's not easy to break that kind of record. That is something I believe about that. CK to me is one of the most underrated artists, and we have to respect this guy as an artist. That is something we need to note ourselves, because he's talented. This guy is good at writing songs, and I think a lot of people, especially in Nigeria, they don't give him much respect. And this guy has contributed immensely, pushing Afrobeat to the news and cranny of this world, entering some colonies that Afrobeat has not entered. That is it for CK, especially with Love Wanting Thing that actually broke the internet at the time. Davido's uncle has saved a man who was sentenced to death for stealing fowl. That is something really disturbing, and this speaks a lot about the judicial system in Nigeria and the kind of prison system in Nigeria. That is something I kind of believe about that. How would you sentence somebody to death for stealing a fowl? That is off it. That is quite disturbing, and we are really ridiculing ourselves before the world. That is something I believe about that. And thank God to Ademola Adeleke, Davido's uncle, who is the governor of Osun State, for giving a state pardon to this person. And the video is all out. This is really, really sad to an extent. And right now, Kemi Badenoch is talking about, a lot of things about Nigeria, how she was maltreated by the Nigerian police, she and her brother. Even the Nigerian police robbed her brother, according to her story. And a lot of people are coming out to say, why should they talk all those things? This is her truth. To an extent, I think instead of us to blame her too much, we need to really do something about all of this. Lawlessness by the police, using the institution to oppress the poor or the powerless in the society, is quite disturbing to an extent. I think we need to really understand it. How would you sentence somebody to death for stealing fowl? And a lot of politicians stealing billions of naira. These guys, they are given sometimes pardon. They are even not arrested self. All those kind of things, they are told to restitute and all those kind of things. Somebody stole fowl, you dey sentence am to death. That judge that did that this thing is a wicked person, and a lot of people are saying that it's not going to be well with him. That is what they are really talking about, and this is Nigeria for you, and this is quite pathetic to an extent. Let's listen to this video.
Sentenced to death by in Osun State for stealing fowl. He's on Google. You can search for it.
ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà mo rìnrìn àjò kan ní ọdún kan mi mọ̀ pé mo lè padà délé ni wọ́n gbé mi lọ nígbà tí mo débẹ̀ bórí mi ṣe tó mo ní tó tírí àjò ibà ti ẹ̀pin síbi ṣùgbọ́n kọ́mọ mi ó sá jáde bí bá a ti rìn dé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí o ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà.
àwọn ọmọ yẹn pé wọ́n ní àti adìẹ ẹ̀yìn kankan gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n sá wà ládùúgbò náà sá ń bá wa bẹ̀ pé máa sá lọ gbàtọ́ lọ́n ó tiẹ̀ mọ́ parẹ́ ò mọ́ gbọ́ ó tiẹ̀ ọjẹ́ ò bàtí ọlọ́run sá ti ṣe tí wọ́n ti rí ẹmú yẹn yẹra ó sá dì láì ní pé ò ní sá pé nǹkan tó mọ̀wọ́ tẹ̀ mẹsẹ̀ kan wá mú o sá o tí àwọn ọlọ́pàá yẹn tí wọ́n fi mú àṣà wọ wàhálà
ó ka ìwé yẹn táwa náà dẹ̀ rí pé
ó ń kàwé
yẹn
ó graduate níbẹ̀.
bẹ́ẹ̀ pé àní owó lọ́wọ́.
ẹ wá lọ sí fún graduation kí ló read medicine ló read ó read medicine lẹ́wọ̀n.
ní dp yẹn bá ní kí n lọ wá 30,000 wá tí n bá fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ mi rẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́nu kan 20,000 sáà ní agbára pin dé àrí 20,000 ẹgbẹ́ lágbára.
ní 2010 lẹ́ ń sọ yìí.
pé kí n wo dáadáa o òun ò bímọ òun dẹ̀ ṣàánú ló bá yá.
Gọ́fúnà Adémọ́lá Adélékè
Now, what can you make out of these stories? I want you to put your own comment in the comment section. Based on my own observation, I think Nigeria is fantastically corrupt to an extent. Sentencing somebody who stole fowl to death, and then somebody who stole billions is even suing the government. That is quite disturbing to an extent, and a lot of people can really understand. Let's stop blaming Kemi Badenoch for, tongue lashing and down talking Nigeria to an extent, because now the way where we they live for this country, that is what she is talking. She took advantage of that to actually push herself further, and a lot of people are coming after her now and saying that why they talk down on Nigeria and all those kind of things. Not be like that we they live for Nigeria, not be with things where they happen for Nigeria she they talk. Let's listen to her.
And destroy us.
Do you trust the British police?
I do, but remember my experience with the police in Nigeria was very negative, and coming to the UK, my first experience with the police was very positive. The police in Nigeria would rob us. So when people say, "Oh, I had this bad experience with the police because I'm black and they're white," I was like, "Well, I remember the police stole my brother's shoes and his watch."
His shoes?
Yeah, they took his shoes and his watch. It's a very poor country, so people do all sorts of things, and giving people a gun is just a license to intimidate. But that's not the bar we should use for British police. Obviously it should be much higher, but my experience was so positive. When I was burgled, for example, the police put there, very helpful. They eventually caught the person. This is 2004, so 20 years ago, the police did catch, they did catch criminals, and now we've given them too much to do, in my view. So the police are the first line of defense for everything, and I think that burden makes it a lot harder for them to actually do the basics, and that's another thing that we need to look at.
What can you make out of these stories now? I want you to put your own comments in the comment section so that you can have a glimpse at what you feel, because a lot of people are really getting interested in this.